Hi everyone, and welcome to this fireworks lesson. In this lesson I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of how to get started in fireworks CS4 and primarily looking at the tool sets and some of the other very basic panels before we get into working with the bitmap vector and web and color tools. So first things first, and that is creating a new document in fireworks. To create a new document in fireworks, you launch the program, which I have already done, and you can either choose from the Create New item here on the Launch panel, or the Welcome panel, or you can choose File New, which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to choose File New, and my document size is set right now at 640 by 480, which is the smallest document size you probably want to make for a whole web page, and the resolution is set at 72 pixels per inch, which is what you want. So if your new document is not set at this size, go ahead and set it this way after you choose new document. And we can set the canvas color to white, transparent, or custom. If I wanted to do a custom color, I could just click this radio button and then choose a new color. However, I do want to use white, so I'm going to keep it on white and then go ahead and click OK. So now I've got my new document started, and as default we'll have it, the last settings that I was using, which were some ruler settings here showing us, I'm going to move this panel across to the right here, that there are some rulers showing in my document. You may not have these initially when you start fireworks. If you want to show your rulers, you can choose View, and here are rulers. I'm actually choosing View and turning the rulers off. Additionally, as you've seen, this is the tool panel. I can move this around, and it's also good to know that in fireworks I can go to Window and I can choose different panels right here from the window menu. Now, depending on the last time you've used fireworks, certain menus may be open or closed, but it's very helpful to be able to turn off and open up and close these different menus when you need to. You can see there's quite a few menus, and down here at the bottom is an option called Workspace Layouts. Now when I choose Workspace Layouts, I get some options, one of which is Save Current, the very bottom option, but there's also Expanded Mode, Iconic Mode with panel names, and when you're just starting, it might be good just to start with Expanded Mode, and this choice should give us the full interface of fireworks. Yes, indeed, there are a lot of panels here in the program. So to begin with, let's just take a look here at the default panels. We've got the Optimize panel, which is actually at the top stack here, and the History panel and the Align panel. These three are currently not showing, and you'll notice if I click, let's say on History, it pops down the History panel. If I click on the Optimize panel or the Align panel, those ones show. Optimize is used for compressing your graphics as either GIF, JPEG, animated GIF, PNG, etc. History panel is your multiple undo, and if I start to do things in the application, which we'll look at this closer later, you'll notice that the states or steps will start showing up in the History panel. And I've got the Align panel to align items either to the stage with this button clicked on or to each other with this button clicked off. The Layers panel is probably one that you're fairly familiar with in other programs such as Illustrator and Photoshop. Layers work the same as they do in Fireworks as they do in those other apps. And we've also got what are known as the Pages for making multiple mockups, and the States menus, which are used for creating different pages in your document, or states such as rollover states in your document. If at any time you want to get less panels in your Fireworks navigation layout, you can actually click on these little tabby names and drag these out and close them. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to drag out these extra panels I don't need open, these extra menus that I'm not using right now, and you'll notice that the States menu jumped up. I can click on the Layers state here, the Layers panel is what I mean to say, and you'll notice there's many more panels down here for us to look at. I'm going to just do one more thing here. I'm going to drag out all of these other panels one at a time by their names. You can see they're pretty interesting. This is the Path panel, using different applications or different mathematics to combine, alter, or edit and select points and work with shapes. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Document library, we'll talk about that one at another time. And I've also got a common library for grabbing objects from pre-made elements within Fireworks, image editing for bitmap editing, wonderful special characters menu is in here, really helpful. We've got what is known as the Shapes palette to make quick work of creating, saving, and using pre-made shapes. Let's see if I can get that to close. A color palette, drag this one over. Do mix colors, different ways, different modes, HLS, HSV, CMYK, and RGB. I'll come back to those later, as well as the swatches panel. Now I've gone ahead and closed all these extra panels. I'm going to double click to make sure that the layers panel is open, and I would say that this is probably the nice simple layout I'm looking for, except for one thing. I'm going to go over to this thing called symbol properties, an extra panel I probably don't need open, and move it over out of the main properties docked menu and close it. And now I have this interface kind of cleaned up and simplified in a way that might help me to work a little bit easier. One other thing to notice here is that if I mouse over the edge of this panel, I can kind of slide it in, see if I can get that to behave. I'm going to try another thing here. I'm going to double click here on the tab handle, and you can see that my page disappeared as well as my menu. I'm going to come back and show you what happened there. As I double clicked, it closed up the page as well as my panel. Really meant to single click there. So let's try that again. I'm going to go back and show you where my other menu went here, which would be the layers panel, and that's back. So let's see if I can get that to do what I wanted it to do. Slide this in. There we go. I can kind of drift these down. There we go. I can kind of shrink this and it'll float into place. It can be a little hard to grab. As you can see, I was having a little tough time grabbing it. But try to grab it from this top menu, this top of the menu here where this gray bar is, and that can help you to kind of adjust where it is. You can also slide it over to the side and play around with that and get a feel for how the menu can move and adjust height-wise. There's only a certain minimal width that you can get this to slide, so I'm going to just tuck it over here at the side. And the very last thing I'm going to do here in this lesson is I'm going to do Save Workspace. So under Window, I'm going to choose Workspace Layouts, Save Current. And this is my personal simple workspace, so I'm going to choose Save Current, and I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to type Abby_simple for my simple workspace. And when I click OK, I should be able now to go to Window and come down here again to Workspace Layouts, and let's say I choose Iconic Mode. My navigation for Fireworks is all set up in Iconic Mode, and I'm going to switch that back again here to Workspace Layouts to my Abby Simple mode, and now, ta-da, I'm back in that mode. One more thing before we wrap up this lesson, and that is the Fireworks tools are arranged in the tool menu in different sections. We've got a set of select tools, bitmap editing, and vector editing tools. As you may or may not know, this application allows you to work in both bitmap and vector editing modes. And there are some special tools here because this is a web and interactive design comping and prototyping tool. We've got some special tools that are just web tools, as well as some color tools and view modes. We've got a hand tool for panning and a zoom tool for zooming. As with many other apps, especially Illustrator, these two items here are the fill and the stroke of any object that I might draw now in terms of a vector object. So in the next lesson, I'm going to start drawing and creating some objects and show you how Fireworks allows you to create vector graphics really quickly for web design and other types of application design. But for now, I'm going to just do a quick file save as and go ahead and save up my file and sign off for today's lesson, and I will see you back here real soon. Looking forward to getting more in depth with Fireworks. I'm going to go ahead and actually save that to my desktop, and I'll put that in my personal project folder. That looks like a good spot for now, and I'll just call this one Hello .png. PNG is the native file format of Fireworks. It stands for Portable Network Graphics, and it's a special format because it can contain both vector and bitmap as well as HTML formatting information. So that's it for today. Welcome to Fireworks CS4 lessons with me, Abigail Rudner, and when you get a chance, check out other tutorials that you'll find on Big Fun Arts. Yep, that's www.bigfunarts.com. Have a great day, and bye for now.